here it's a very different vibe, but I'm keen to learn and kind of see what things are like on this side of the fence.
Yeah.
There's a very kind of visceral feel to things where it's like, yeah, you're getting into the meat of it. You see the industrial side of things. You see the proof of work that's going into everything that is mining, and so it's it's more down to the like, hey, this is kind of part of the backbone of what makes all this stuff work.
Yeah.
And it's a unique thing to be in at an event that focuses on this very specific part of Bitcoin.
So I have with me the infamous BTC Sessions. I think what do you have a reputation for the best hair in Bitcoin?
Well, it depends who you talk to. It's either the best or the worst.
Yeah.
If it's me, it's the best. If it's anybody else, they'd probably say the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about your experience here at Mining Disrupt. Were you on stage? What's going on? Why are you here?
It's been great. So this is my first mining conference ever, which is awesome. And I feel like mining for me, despite the fact that I've been tinkering and teaching people about all the other aspects of Bitcoin for a long time, mining was a blind spot for a long time for me until I'd say it still a little bit is, but I've got into a lot of the hobbyist home stuff the past couple of years and started diving into that. So here it's been great because I get to learn a little bit too.
Yeah.
But also I did a fireside chat with Scott 9000 from the BitAxe project. And it was awesome just talking about this push for open source mining and how things can potentially change in the coming years.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm relatively new to mining. And this is my first Bitcoin or Mining Disrupt conference.
Yeah.
So I've really been loving getting to know some of the different vendors here and being able to talk to them directly instead of just seeing them on the computer, right?
Yeah, it's very different from you go to a regular Bitcoin conference and you get a lot of the about macroeconomics. You're talking about like the political environment. You're talking about wallets and hardware and stuff like this. And this is like the mining industry is very, very different from your typical Bitcoin conference. So obviously they're present at the big conferences, but here it's a very different vibe. But I'm keen to learn and kind of see what things are like on this side of the fence.
Yeah, because everything else in Bitcoin is kind of abstract, right? For most people, even the Bitcoin itself that we hold in self-custody is still kind of even though we have a physical device that goes with it, it's still sort of an abstract thing until you actually spend it on something. But most of us are hodling, so we're not spending it and using it regularly. And I know some people out there are going to say we need to get better at that. But at the same time, here at the mining conference, you can touch and feel everything. Everything it's a very physical type of work, and you see these physical containers, and you see the sites, people showing pictures and telling about their sites and the machines, and you can touch and feel the fans and everything.
Yeah, there's a very kind of visceral feel to things where it's like you're getting into the meat of it. You see the industrial side of things. You see the proof of work that's going into everything that is mining, and so it's more down to the like, hey, this is kind of part of the backbone of what makes all this stuff work.
Yeah.
And it's a unique thing to be in at an event that focuses on this very specific part of Bitcoin. And I think this is kind of what we're going to see out of events moving forward. Like, yes, there'll be the large, broad ones, but you're going to get a lot more of this event covers this very specific niche aspect of Bitcoin, and that's what Mining Disrupt is becoming, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where you go for this part of the industry.
Yeah, I think you're right, because there's so many different aspects to Bitcoin and the Bitcoin industry. So that's as an event producer, that's actually something that I could look forward to and try to find the right niche for the group of people that I'm connected with. So your BTC Sessions on Twitter, yes, and many other places, Instagram.
Noster, YouTube. YouTube is where you can learn, and Twitter is where you can see me post memes and be a degenerate S poster. I'll be cautious on the language. I don't know.
We're streaming on X, so I don't be too cautious.
Yeah, you can say whatever the hell you want there.
So, but you do tutorials on products, Bitcoin products, and I think you recently did one on a BitAxe, and then another one that caught my eye, the Start 9 node.
Yes, yeah. So I did. I took the BitAxe, and you can run something called a datum server on your Start 9.
Oh yeah.
And so what you're effectively doing is you're running your own Bitcoin node, your own copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, your own mempool, all of that, and you're using that. And datum is the communication between your miner, your own personal kind of mining pool, and your node, so that if you were to hit a block, you're pulling it from your own mempool be like, hey, these are the transactions that I want to include in the block. Whereas if you're going to a mining pool, typically, unless they're on like Stratum V2 and you get to actually pick yourself, typically it's the mining pools like, here's the transactions that are going into this block. You won it. Here's your reward. Whereas this, it's like you're doing the whole self-sovereign stack yourself.
Yeah. Wow. And so that datum is a product of our friends at Ocean Mining, isn't it? Yeah, Ocean Mining.
It's and again, Bitcoin Mechanic, awesome dude. He was kind enough to spend probably an hour to an hour and a half with me, just kind of walking through and explaining things to me as I was prepping for the tutorial.
Oh, nice.
And so, like, I mean, hats off to him for spending that time, because I would have spent so much more time just trying to figure out like what even anything was. And so he was pretty concise in describing datum as like a protocol or a communication layer between the mining pool that you self-host, between your node infrastructure and your miner. So it strings it together so all of that can work cohesively.
Yeah. So if I'm understanding it right, and I haven't had the experience of being with Mechanic and talking to him about it, any miner can use it. Yeah. You showed us how to do it on a BitAxe, just for your home miner, your lottery miner. But any miner, whether you have a 1,000 petahash or whether you have 10 petahash or 5 terahash, you can use this datum to make sure that your transactions get.
And so you can then set whatever, you get to choose the block template of what's going to go into the block if you mine it. Some people would just say, I want the most profitable block. Some people might say, well, for whatever reason, maybe I want to prioritize a certain type of transaction over another. Some people are not a fan of like data related, like ordinals and stuff like that, and they might want to say, I don't want to host that on my own node, and so I'm not going to mine a block with that either. But the point is that the individual person who's putting in the proof of work chooses the block that they mine, and the person that mines the next one, if they're doing their own infrastructure, they can choose as well. So it's my initial thought around it. I was like, oh, what if somebody wants to censor something? But as long as enough people are mining everywhere, and you get these pleb miners, and you get like different mining pools potentially running something like this, where individuals get to choose, then there's always going to be an array of different choices that people can make. And so it's just personal choice of what do you want to host yourself.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to mention the decentralization aspect of it. Keeping the whole thing more decentralized than that.
Yeah. You're not preventing anybody else from doing anything. You're choosing what you yourself want to do with your own infrastructure.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's really cool. I love the idea. So it tied in so many different things that I've kind of been learning about, and just to be able to see like, hey, here's a BitX, here's my start 9, here's this datum relay that makes them communicate. It can go to my, if I mine a block, it could go to Sparrow Wallet that I'm hosting. That's also linked to my start 9. Like all of these different things that just kind of play together, and you start to see how all of these layers interoperate with each other and communicate. It begins to piece it together better for me. And I'm still, you still get to points where you're like fuzzy on, wow, look at how complex all of this stuff is. And you can step back and be like, holy crap, Satoshi really, he had to do some thinking to figure out how. And obviously it's changed a lot since the early days, but like the base layer of like how all of that stuff interoperated, that was the software. When you downloaded it, it did kind of all of those things.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff goes way over my head. It's just amazing to me that that somebody thought through all that and came up with it and put it out there in the world, and that it's been working now for 16 years now. Right?
And look at everything that's come of it. Look at what we have here. Look at the actual gigantic industry that has been created just around this aspect of Bitcoin. And it's staggering. Unbelievable.
That's a great way to round this back out, because that's the thing about being here at this conference. When you first hear about Bitcoin, and there's still a lot of people out there in the world, a lot of normies that think it's just magic internet money. Like, they don't think it has any value or anything. And then you come to a place like this, and here we are in this whole convention center full of exhibits that people spent lots of money on, not just to have the space, but then these exhibits are so nice and nice to look at. And there's just lots of employees here, people with jobs because of this industry. And then you go to a conference like Vegas, and 4 times this size. And it's just incredible.
It makes sense. I think that my kind of final thought here is I'm realizing, I think it was in The Big Short, where at the beginning they talk about how with the rise of like financial products and the commoditization of money, like all of these, like it's all of a sudden from the 70s, it just became like the financial district of New York just went insane, and like all of the jobs are all in the financial industry. And it's because the money is broken and people are trying to find a way around that. And so what I'm seeing here is we found the fix for money, and the brain drain is coming to this. So that industry of trying to matrix your way around escaping the dilution of your spending or your purchasing power is it's going to be siphoned off to here, and we're witnessing that now.
Awesome. All the brains in finance are coming to Bitcoin. And 100%. It's going to be the smartest money in the world.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch,
cheers.
man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. And enjoy the rest of the rest of the event. Should be good.
Do you want the world to know about what day it is?
I'm here on my 40th birthday.
Happy birthday.
So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm headed to New York this afternoon, and we're doing a birthday bash on Saturday at PubKey. So
very cool. Time. That's such a cool thing.
Cheers. Thanks again for having me.
You're welcome.
I'll see you around here.
Okay.